Which actually the outfits were quite similar as well. They're both wearing sparkly outfits. We also have a similar car scene and a similar scene where they're reading a book. Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina and today is the day. We are finally ready to review Jisoo's solo, which I feel like we've been waiting for a long time, yet at the same time, feels like it's a little too soon, but we'll get into that later. So join me as we take a look at her single Flower from her album titled, wait for it, Me. You know, we had Jennie's solo, which was cleverly titled Solo. We also had Rolly's solo. Did I say Rolly? Oh my god. Blink card revoked. Rolly. We also had Rose's solo, which was titled R. And Lisa's solo, which was titled, you guessed it, La Lisa. So when I heard that Jisoo's solo was going to be named Me, I wasn't surprised. It just reminded me of the long legacy that YG has with their very creative and out-of-the-box names for the things that they do. Shall I go on? The show, the album. I actually named my island on Animal Crossing The Island, and I almost named my podcast The Podcast. I was just so inspired by the innovation. But yes, Blinks, let's gather around because it's finally time. Like I mentioned earlier, it feels like we've been waiting simultaneously years for this. And also, it feels a little too soon. Like, I expected them to be like, yeah, she's gonna have a solo. Well, technically, didn't they announce this like a couple of years ago? I take it back. It's been a long time coming, but she's here now. She's about to set the roof on fire, baby. Watch not a single person get that reference. Please, I'm begging you. There has to be some second-gen old hags in here somewhere. Nevertheless, despite the fact that this was technically announced a couple years ago, but they did tell us the sequence of how things would be released. So we would have Rosie's solo first, then Lisa's, and then Jisoo's would be last. But I'm surprised we didn't get an announcement for this and then it was postponed somehow, or that, they didn't push it to the end of the year. Like, I was just waiting for something fishy to happen, which admittedly I haven't made too much content about her solo in terms of predictions, in terms of what I could expect from this, because I really didn't know what to expect. When it came to Rosie's solo, I had a clear idea. And then for Lisa, I literally made a perfect predictions video where almost everything came true as well. And as for Jennie, I wasn't really reviewing music at that time, so I don't know what I would have predicted for Jennie. So I guess Jennie and Jisoo are kind of in the same boat where I don't know what to expect. I just thought her heart was in acting. And I thought personally, there's no rush for her to really do a solo. I think really the one thing pushing her to do the solo immediately is fans, right? Because if she didn't, fans would absolutely lose their marbles. YG would never live it down because all three other members got to have their solos. And what about Jisoo? She's out here living her best life. She's brand ambassador for this, brand ambassador for that. BLACKPINK are raking in the money. They're living the life that we could never imagine. They're so far beyond us right now. You don't even understand. All that to say, it just baffles me when people are like, no, actually her life is terrible because she had one less line than so-and-so. Her screen time was on average 3.5% less than the other members. So I think we need to boycott. Respectfully, I think you guys need to boycott different things. Love the energy. I just think it's a little misplaced. So before we have the experience that is Jisoo's solo, let's discuss everything we know so far. So there are 2 tracks on her single album, the title being Flower and the B-side being All Eyes on Me. Now, if you still don't mind, it's too pointless, I'll see myself out. Now, Flower, which if you look at the design, is actually quite beautiful because it's the shape of a flower, which I didn't really notice before it was pointed out to me. But that is beautiful. I thought it was beautiful before, but I didn't really catch that it was in the shape of a flower, like the Korean writing of it. But we have our typical YG gang with lyrics by Vince, Kush, and Teddy, with VVN being someone I don't think I've heard of before. But it's also composed by VVN, 24, and Kush, as well as arranged by 24. Which I'm kind of assuming can't be too bad. At the core of me, I know a lot of people give me crap about this for actually liking BLACKPINK music. But that's the thing. Some people have accused me in the past of being an SM anti. Not gonna lie, looking at the evidence against me, it doesn't look good. When it comes to company sound, I feel like when people like SM music, it's like, oh yeah, it's so accepted. But then if you like YG sound, it's like, no, it's so repetitive and unoriginal. Babe, you're literally an SM stan. No, but seriously, since like 2008 or some shit, I've really enjoyed the YG sound. Similarly, for All Eyes on Me, we have lyrics by Teddy and Vince, composed by Teddy RT24 and VVN, and arranged by 24 and RT. Now, there's nothing wrong with buying songs. I feel like that's been a discussion on this channel for a little bit recently. Nothing wrong with it, but I do love the allure of that YG sound. I don't care if you think it's repetitive. If you like 21, Big Bang, BLACKPINK, I was on a K-pop break during Icon and Winter, so I don't want to talk about it. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying a company sound, and I feel like YG's the only one who gets slack for it. I mean, aside from Kill This Love, I literally love every single BLACKPINK release. Well, listen, I also have a lot of BLACKPINK songs that I've saved for a rainy day, and for good reason. I suggest you do the same. If you haven't already, save some songs for a rainy day. I've done that for some 21 songs as well. You just never know. K-pop is life or death, and you have to think about your own future here. So without further ado, let's finally check out her solo music video. The music video starts off with Jisoo looking pensively in a hotel room, which apparently was filmed in Universal Studios in the US as their top secret location. The scene is quite short, but you can feel her agitation as she moves around the room before caressing some flowers. We then cut to a scene that is titled Chapter 1, Next Day, where she is in a vehicle that she apparently couldn't drive because it was so old, as she expressed in her Countdown Live, but it was there for the aesthetic purposes of the music video. But of course, with the title there's an implication that there was an event from the day before that we should be aware of, though we can only infer. Perhaps a heartbreak, a breakup, a fight, whatever the case may be, she does look distressed as she sings, ABC, do, re, mi, I was as nice as that. But the look in her eye changed, and perhaps this is a different side to her, which I think simply means that she snapped. Her simple way of being nice had suddenly changed, and she flew away like a blue butterfly. So we don't visually get a glimpse of her heartbreak, but we do get an idea through the lyrics as she dances around the hotel, expressing that it was all on the person to hold on to her, but they didn't, which is in reference to her flying away like a blue butterfly. And later on, she mentions she is a petal flying away as well. We then move on to Chapter 2, Same Time, where we see the killing point of the song, which I have to say is quite mesmerizing. We did see a lot of black and red within the teasers, which was a central point. So Jisoo dancing with flowers in her palms as she sports red tights and a black dress as she moves her hands in a hypnotizing way was a strikingly beautiful scene. We get to hear an interesting chorus and then the repetition of the main line of the song. There was nothing left but a scent of a flower. Moving on to Chapter 3, Same Place. She walks in front of a seemingly empty yellow building, but we do end up seeing it's a jewelry shop. But this is the chapter where things start to actually fall apart. In the previous chapters, we could see her agitation, but now we can finally see the heartbreak more front and center. She is crying. We have a classic scene of her ripping her pearls off, which we also just recently saw in Set Me Free by Twice. But I digress. Her hair is perfectly disheveled. She's sobbing on the floor, the whole shebang. Then quite symbolically, she walks away from the fancy car that doesn't actually work, and she rips the flower from her neck. Since the only thing that was left was the scent of a flower, we can interpret this as her moving on. Now, of course, again, the music video, visually stunning. Do I understand where the budget went? Not really. But maybe that's a me issue. I'm more than willing to admit that. Because though we do have a semblance of a storyline, and I say that very liberally, what really stood out to me was, of course, the choreography. Especially near the end with the hand movements making a flower like this, it was absolutely stunning. So as for the storyline, I mean, the title cards definitely helped infer a story as an audience. We could assume that something happened, but we don't physically see a beginning to end story. Though we could symbolically put one together, right? So you can let me know in the comments down below if you think that's a storyline. I personally wouldn't count it as that. I would say it's more symbolic than anything. But let me know in the comments down below. The music video did feel a little familiar, didn't it? Most notably, it felt a little reminiscent of Jennie's solo. And this particular scene from On the Ground, where we see they're all in front of a mirror. So we have the classic vanity scene in all three music videos, which would almost make it come full circle, right? For BLACKPINK solos. Except I feel like Lalisa was just thrown to the side. The white streaks in her hair reminded me of the hair Jennie had in solo, which actually the outfits were quite similar as well. They're both wearing sparkly outfits. We also have a similar car scene. and a similar scene where they're reading a book. You know, some of the styling elements as well, I feel like, you know, it's inevitable to not make comparisons because I feel like both of them just give off this elegant vibe. Otherwise, I couldn't find any references to the other members' music videos, but let me know if you did. So my thoughts on the song, I almost feel like we can throw out everything I said about YG previously about them having a specific sound, because if I heard this song out of the blue, like in the wild, shall we say, I wouldn't necessarily say like it screams YG, though I will admit we've heard similar things from YG before and the Black label at that. It does feel incredibly reminiscent of Solo. A lot of people have been saying that as well. But I would also point out Somi's Dum Dum. So would I necessarily say this is a YG style song? I mean, in a way, maybe. But again, like I said, if I heard it in the wild, I wouldn't think like, oh, Teddy, is that you? Well, maybe a little. No, I don't know. Fuck. But Solo, Dum Dum, and Flower, in terms of the styling on top of that, I feel like these songs could all be from the same universe, if that makes sense. Sparkles and simple beat drops or anti-drops. I'm tired. So I can't say that it's love at first sight. I feel like Solo was definitely a grower. I still haven't come around to Dum Dum. It's not my favorite type of song, but I definitely see the allure of her sweet voice in this song. I see a lot of people comparing it to other BLACKPINK solos, which I think is totally fair. Actually, I want to do a ranking of all their solos, so let me know if that's interesting to you. So lastly, I asked you guys on my community tab what you thought of this solo debut. So let's take a look at some of your comments. The pre-chorus and the bridge are amazing. The song is so good. She really did a great job. Out of all the solos, I think I like this one the best. Felt very her. Everything was very elegant, and of course she sounded great. I can also understand why someone wouldn't like it too. Interesting. I accepted an anti-drop, but I didn't anticipate the way they would do that anti-drop. While I'm not a fan of the instrumental choruses, it was pretty good. It's probably gonna grow on me. The music video was also very beautiful. The song really reminds me of Solo and Gashina, and I really like it. Some people are saying the chorus is too empty, but it's catchy and leaves me wanting more, which makes me want to replay it. The visuals are great, but I do wish the choreo was better. Overall, I think it's a solid solo debut. I agree about the chorus. It is a little bit empty, but I do find it intriguing nonetheless. The choreography, it is very simple, but I do have to say the colors and the accessories are quite mesmerizing. I love her vocals so much, like she has improved quite a lot. The song has an interesting vibe to it, and I'm glad it turned out to be just what I imagined it to be. Jisoo has a more of a raspy voice, so the song definitely matches her tone. The chorus is a bit empty, but I guess it will grow on me. The song reminds me of Solo by Jennie, but you can tell the similarities between both. It had a typical YG ending, super abrupt. It was super short, I wanted more, but anyways, a decent debut. All Eyes on Me is also a great song. I think I'll have to do like a short or something of my reaction to All Eyes on Me. Overall, the song was very chill and didn't do much, but I think that the song isn't terrible either. I think this concept also fits her pretty well. I wasn't expecting this kind of song for Jisoo, honestly. That surprised me. I was expecting a ballad or a slow song. I'm very proud of her. I can see the improvement through the years. She has been working hard. Love it. Oh my god, definitely different than what I was expecting. I was thinking Jisoo would come out with something akin to IZ*ONE's La Vie en Rose, that kind of elegant and bright sound, that I would have died with something like that. This was more dark and kind of reminded me of Sunmi's Heroine, or even more subdued Gashina, especially visually. I agree, La Vie en Rose would have been amazing, beautiful for her. Definitely a lot of comments that say it reminds them of Solo. I mean, it's inevitable to make those comparisons, especially with the styling and the type of song as well. But I'm surprised nobody is talking about Dum Dum. I loved it. The chorus was empty. Teddy being Teddy, I guess. It was visually and audibly pleasing though. Elegant, mysterious, and chill. Matches Jisoo well. Loving the plant talk in the lyrics though. Very poetic, actually. So that is basically it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to let me know in the comments down below what you think of this song. As for me, I'm gonna get going. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also join my channel members, my Patreon, all that jazz. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going. Bye!